You're seeing red all over your screen. The market's down. Everything is screaming sell, sell, sell. All the headlines are saying AI bubble. Is this the crash? Is this all coming to an end now? Here's the truth. These moments, these exact ones that we're dealing with right now, are the ones that feel the scariest. And it's usually these moments that set up the biggest opportunities to come in the future. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through what I'm personally buying while everyone else is panic selling, which stocks I believe will rebound the hardest when the fear fades, and what could still push this market even lower before we get the bounce. But before we get into it, you might be wondering who I am. My name is Jason Wade, and I am a retail investor, a regular retail investor just like you. That means no insider edge, no $1 million desk, just discipline, experience, and years of putting in the work. But here's the kicker. While the NASDAQ has gone up 160% and the S&P 500 124%, my teaching portfolio is up 740%. That means I've been beating the market by more than 6 times. Not by gambling, not by guessing, but by studying market psychology, focusing on strong companies, and using smart option plays to multiply my returns. So if you're looking to take control of your financial future instead of letting Wall Street or fear control you, I'd love to help you out. We are offering free consultations, and anyone who takes any sessions with me online will get free access to the Discord for some time. So click the free consultation. I'll be happy to discuss with you and figure out where you are right now and see how we can get you to a higher level. You can book that anytime in the link below. So with that, let's get into the video. We're seeing a full risk-off sentiment across the board. Sharp pullbacks for most of the heavy hitters, main companies that everybody's interested in, and we're going to talk about why that's happening. But first, let's see what has kind of propelled this pushback in the first place. So late today, midday or so, we get articles releasing about what's happening with Trump and China, and we see that Trump unloads on China in a post on Truth Social. Some very strange things are happening in China, Trump says. In this post, he also threatened to cancel a planned meeting with the president later this month, saying that there was no reason to do so before threatening the tariffs increase. Ultimately, though potentially painful, it will be a very good thing in the end for the US. One of the policies that we're calculating at the moment is a massive increase of tariffs on Chinese products coming into the United States. So why did the president say this? Well, as we can see, the post came after China heated up trade tensions with the US, adding new port fees on American ships and launching an antitrust investigation into Qualcomm. Beijing has also been in the midst of tightening export controls on rare earth minerals and has halted purchases of US soybeans. So China has been up to stuff. So as a result, this retaliation that we're seeing coming from the US, it is called for. Whether or not it is called for, or whether it is or not, we can debate on that on a whole nother channel. But this also is coming at a wobbly week and time frame for the markets. We know that the markets have been in a melt up. Every day has been going up for the last several months, and everybody's wondering when the bubble is going to pop. So this has really just acted as a machine to send the markets downwards. This is the propelling and the fuel that has set the stage. So as we can see right here, this pull has been happening. The market's been pulling in different directions by first, we have the AI demand hopes and the U.S. government shutdown worries. So this decline of all major indexes, it's really set for a firmly down weeks to come. If this continues to not get settled, these negotiations aren't settled, and this is after record highs after record highs every single day in the market. So as a result, your heavy hitters, your growth stocks, your tech names, they're all down sharply as a result of people who are rushing to take profits after months of euphoria in the market. So now the question everyone's asking is, well, is this the end of the AI boom? Or is it just the pullback before the next leg higher? Well, I believe the latter. I believe this is the pullback before the next leg higher. All of these issues, these news reports all seem to happen, and there's always going to be scares in the markets when we're talking about all the different frenzies of the different time periods in every cycle, because every cycle has one. We have the dot-com bubble in the 2000s. Everybody was worrying about that. Then the crypto cycle in 2021. And now we have the AI cycle in 2024 and 2025. So yes, valuations on some of these names have gotten very frothy. They're quite wild. We have some companies that don't even have any revenue at million-dollar valuations, billion-dollar valuations. That doesn't mean that there aren't a few nuances to it. So those nuances are, in fact, the fact that not all AI plays are equal. There are massive differences between hype stocks, and infrastructure stocks. Names like nvidia and AMD actually power AI. But there are others that don't really have anything. Think C3 AI or some smaller data startups are riding the waves of hype without having any cash flow to back it up. Look at this company as well, Oklo, right? A nuclear micro reactor startup has soared to a $20 billion valuation despite having no revenue. This kind of story echoes past bubbles. While capital chased every next big thing, regardless of fundamentals, it doesn't mean companies like Oklo can't succeed. But it does highlight the importance of separating long-term leaders from speculative bets. And this article is very interesting when you get into it. It talks about some things that Jeff Bezos actually mentioned earlier last week. He said this is kind of an industrial bubble as opposed to financial bubbles. Bezos explained when people get very excited as they are today about AI, every experiment gets funded, every company gets funded. Investors have a hard time in the middle of this excitement distinguishing between the good ideas and the bad ideas. So that happens, and we can see how it leads to lofty valuations for companies like Oklo. But he also mentioned that there has never been a better time to be excited about the future. We are gifted to live in a moment in time where there are multiple golden ages going on. So, companies like that also have the AI build out at its core and are core leaders of the AI build outs, strong companies with actual substance to show, like nvidia, remain the undisputed leader in AI chips, while Vertiv dominates power and cooling systems for hyperscale data centers. Arista Networks as well commands the high-speed networking essentials for AI clusters. So these stocks do trade at elevated valuations, but that does not make them a bubble. They're having real cash flow and increase in growth in margins, and these have serious impact on the future of this economy, of the tech environment, and how it's going to impact businesses and people's everyday lives. It's just going to continue, and these companies represent the backbone of the AI revolution. So the way I'm approaching this crash is really simple. I'm separating the innovators from the imitators. And so we'll talk about what are some of the things that I bought today on this crash, and some of the things that I'm looking to buy if we continue to crash. So we'll start off with nvidia. Nvidia down 4.95% today. It's one of the few companies actually growing earnings faster than its valuations. The recent pullback brought it back to a more reasonable multiple, and for me, that's where I like to scale in small. We'll just maybe look at some nibbles for right now, but for the way I play nvidia, I'm looking for a little bit more of a pullback. It is not too far off of its all-time highs, which is great and also shows the strength of the company. But as you can see today, just amounts up to around a 6.5% pullback. So if you think about a play like this, if we were to drop down to some deeper levels, right, to these lows right here, that would be about 15% correction right there. And I would love to enter in for some longs, for some call options. So I'm keeping an eye on this stock for now. Second is AMD. AMD has been shadowing nvidia, but hasn't run nearly as fast. Their partnership with OpenAI and their chip pipeline keep them in the AI game. So when sentiment shifts, it's going to rebound quite hard. And we saw that it had such a strong push up recently on the news with OpenAI. But if we can see a deeper pullback here, if we could get into any of these levels, maybe 187 or around 7 or 174, or even at 202, I would take that as a good entry spot to continue to ride in AMD higher. And the third stock I am watching closely is Palantir. Palantir's volatility is high, but its government contracts and real-world AI use cases give it long-term staying power. So if we look at Palantir's charts, we're still not too far off of the all-time highs. So a lot of stocks are still trading at all-time highs. Today, this pullback amounts to about a 7.29% pullback on Palantir. So that is nice. Anytime we see Palantir coming closer to some of these previous highs, or if we see it come down to 168, 162, anywhere around 150 is a strong pile in for Palantir. It continues to go up and down in these areas, and we could definitely play it for some calls or for some puts as well. So just keeping an eye on this name right here. Another stock to also consider keeping an eye on. I personally not sure about actually entering in a position into Oracle, but it has a lot to do, similar to AMD as well, with how sentiment is with the AI boom. So recently, Oracle had a strong push up right here. We went from the 242 levels all the way as high as 345. So more than the 100-point move right there from its peak right there to its peak right there. So that's very interesting, and I want to keep that in mind. So if this stock comes to fill these gaps or plummets lower to some of these levels, we can see how sentiment may be shifting towards the overall market. So that could be working as a short-term kind of indicator for me right now. Another stock that I am looking into as well is Tesla. Tesla has obviously been moving and grooving. We've been putting in some highs around the 260 to 470 levels as well. It's a very obviously, we know Tesla is a growth stock, and we want to keep an eye on it because the way that this moves, I could definitely see Tesla coming down a lot more, down to the 300 levels. Is probably just not even, it's probably still not even fair value for this stock. We could probably go lower up to 270s. So just be aware too. So if you're looking into Tesla, it could definitely be in for a pullback, especially if the market continues in this risk off sentiment that we're holding right now. And just as a disclaimer, some of these stocks that I've mentioned right now, I never pile in all at once, right? I'm always positioning into them slowly. So I have a lot more information, and I go into a lot more detail in my Discord about the different stocks that I look into, that I'm looking into to buy. I'll fix Discord later, but everybody gets real-time updates on Discord about what I'm buying, how much I'm buying, and my position sizing as well. So the free Discord link is in the description. Also, some things to keep in mind in terms of yeah, how the market's been moving today. VIX spiked up crazy as well. All today, we're sitting around the 2160 levels. And so that is an indication that there's a lot of fear out in the market. So if this doesn't tell you to start buying, I don't know what will, right? These are the type of times where you want to buy in the market. When we had those April scares, guess what the VIX also did? It also spiked. Back last time we were having the tariff talk scares, all the way in April as well. So anytime the big VIX spikes, you're going to want to be buying as well. And so it is well correlated to when you want to be deploying cash into the market. There's a lot of fear, as we could see over here. VIX is saying that we're in an extreme fear situation. The VIX measures expected price fluctuations or volatility in the S&P 500 options over the next 30 days. The VIX often drops on days when the broader market rallies and soars when stocks plunge. So today it soared, and it's a good indicator because that is a good way to read the fear and greed index of how everything is moving. Another one to keep in mind is the put to call options ratio. Right now we're at greed levels. Options are contracts, obviously, that give investors the right to buy or sell stocks. But when the ratio of puts to calls is rising, it's usually a sign investors are growing more nervous. A ratio above 1 is considered bearish. The fear and greed index uses a bearish options ratio as a signal for fear. So we can see right now it's at these levels, around, if I could get my cursor on it right, just about right, 0.62. So we're still below 1. So we can tell that still overall that everybody is still thinking that this will be somewhat of a bullish market still. So it has rised a little bit, as you can tell, but that's also people getting nervous, being ready for a shift in the sentiment. And if we can have a longer term shift, then that's where people will start being risk off and start putting all these puts as hedges for their portfolios. So just some things to consider here in the market. We talked today a little bit, but our teaching portfolio was down 5.85%. That was about 18 K on this portfolio. So obviously not wonderful to see, but a few weeks ago we were having 20K days in the green, multiple days in succession. So a pullback like this is completely justified. It's actually, in fact, healthy, and it's not something that I would be shying away from. It's in fact a good thing, because typically these pullbacks often reap a much higher reward. And if you position yourself correctly, just as people in the Discord have been positioning themselves, you can really take advantage of all these moves. We've been having back-to-back days where we're making 10K, 15K, 20K, or sometimes 1K in a day, 4K in a day. That's not too bad either. We'll take all that we can get. Remember, markets don't crash forever, they cycle, and every major wealth creation story you've ever heard of started during fear. So it doesn't always start in a euphoric state. They always start in a fear cycle. So instead of panicking, start preparing, build your watch list, manage your risk. And if you're sitting on the sidelines, this could be your chance to start positioning yourself for the next bull leg when it comes. And again, if you want help building your portfolio, or if you want help understanding the markets, or getting all of this under your belt, feel free to sign up for our free consultations. Again, you'll get free access to the Discord along with taking any sessions with me if you book them online. So go ahead and check the link in the description. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys in the next one.